Hey guys, and welcome back to Unhinged but Healthy. So, I can't really see myself today if you're watching on YouTube, but I just thought, maybe we would change it up a bit today. So, this is how we look today. But yeah, anyways, I did record this yesterday, but I was like kind of spiraling. So, I thought maybe it's better to just not upload that video or that podcast episode, because I just feel like sometimes it's not coming from the best place. But I feel like I thought there was a spider on me then, oh my god. I have been quite triggered recently. Like, I've had a lot happen, and not even like massive things, just like a lot of little things like straight after each other, and it's really rattled my nervous system. And I found it really hard to think of something to speak about this week. And yesterday I was feeling a type of way, and I recorded an episode about it, and I watched it back, and I just don't think, it's just a bit vulnerable, a bit too vulnerable for even me to post. So anyways, let's get into this now. If you're watching on YouTube, I would be grateful if you could like, subscribe and comment. And if you are listening to my podcast, I would be grateful if you could follow and rate the show. I will leave my socials in the box below. So today I'm just going to be like briefly talking about how what you resist persists. And this is something that people would say, and I would get it, but I never really understood it, if you know what I mean. And since reading The Untethered Soul, Living Untethered, and now I'm reading A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, which is kind of same thing, different font. I understand it now, and I understand it in my body. And it's like I said in my last episode, possibly, like about how when you're trying to soothe and heal your nervous system, you should be working with your nervous system and not against it. So you should be working with your body and not trying to get out of your body to avoid those feelings. And I feel like the saying what you resist persists is so true in this sense. And like, I've really understood it recently in the ways of like, when I'm thinking about someone, I don't want to be thinking about the minute that I try and banish it from my brain, it just gets 100 times louder. Whereas if I'm like, do you know what, okay, like, I'm just gonna let these thoughts sit there, like, I'm not gonna spiral in these thoughts, I'm just gonna be like, oh cool, okay, this is a thought, like, I don't really want to be having it, but I also don't have to like delve deep into it either. And I noticed that the amount of time that I think about that person or that thing just kind of diminishes instantly. Whereas yesterday I was like having quite a bad spiral with my body image, and I was just like catching myself giving into it, and then I would be like, wait, now, like, this isn't me, like, I am the consciousness that is aware of these thoughts going on. I can just be aware of that. And I can just allow them to be there. I don't have to be like, right, okay, now I need to get into a calorie deficit, right, okay, now I need to do this in the gym, right, okay, I need to add this day into my split, like, okay, I need to make sure I walk like 15k steps tomorrow, like, like, just really like trying to like lock in, whereas when I have those thoughts, I get really anxious and I get all this anxious energy. Whereas when I was just like, okay, like, these thoughts are there, like, they're uncomfortable, but I'm just gonna feel it, and I'm just gonna be here even if I am uncomfortable in my body at this moment in time. Like, I had a day yesterday where like I really didn't want to leave the house. Like, I've had a week, when I tell you, I've had a few weeks, but I've had a week, and I was just like, I don't want to leave the house, like, I'm literally hideous. But I didn't have my car last week, I got it back yesterday. So I had work yesterday morning, did not sleep an ounce the night before, and I had to catch the bus to town to then walk into work. Then I was in work, it was fine, and then I had to walk back to the bus station. It was freezing cold, it was sleeting. My shoes are still soaked, my feet were soaking, my clothes were soaking, my coat had soaked through. I missed my bus by a minute. and then I had to sit, well no, I didn't have to, I went to M&S cafe and literally got like a fucking 2-course meal and a coffee, like to just drown my sorrows in, you know. And I was just like, do you know what, it is what it is. And then I got the next bus and it took me like 45 minutes to get home when it should have taken like 15. And yeah, and then I went to get my car and then I noticed instantly that I just felt a bit better. So yeah, I mean, when I'm really triggered, I find that my body tries to look for something to control, and I've said this in a few episodes before. My body looks for something to control, and that is always calories, numbers, exercise, and that is where my brain goes. And yeah, it's been really tough. I've been really triggered. A lot of my wounds have been triggered recently, and then like to have like my kind of like safety blanket taken out from under me, and like I've always appreciated my car, but now I appreciate it 110 times more. But yeah, so I was just having a really bad time with it. And I was just like, do you know what, like I really don't want to leave the house. And my friend was like, oh, like do you want to go to Primark, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then she was like, oh, like do you want to go out for food? And I was just like, oh, not really, but like yeah, okay, like, you know. And I was just like really anxious and like looking around people that I knew, because I was like, I look disgusting, like, you know. And it's just like I'm really not feeling comfortable in myself at the moment, and I really hate that, because I know that I'm not all the things that my head is telling me. And it's really difficult, I feel, when you have those thoughts and those feelings that you feel so disgusting about yourself, even if you know it's not true. Like, it's just hard, and it's hard to be in your body at that moment in time. And like I noticed when I was with my friend yesterday, like she was talking to me and I wasn't even there. Like I was in my head about like, how am I going to compensate today for what I've eaten yesterday, because I ate out in the afternoon and then I went out for food in the evening as well, because I didn't know, like, you know. And like I should just be able to have a day like that and be like, it's okay, it's a one-off day, and not even think about it at all, you know. So yeah, and it was difficult, and I was just like, just be here, like literally just be here. Like, is feeling uncomfortable about your body, which is a healthy body, functions properly, looks great, like, you know, you just don't feel great right now. Like, you know, it is the week before my period. I always have like a mentee bee around my body image at this time. Yeah, and like it was just like, is obsessing and fixating over how you can fix your body and make it look better and like keep your shape, like, is that worth missing out on life? Like, no, I don't think it is. And like, so I was just like, do you know what, like literally just stop giving into these thoughts. Like, these thoughts are popping into your head, you have something to argue with every time, or you're adding to it every time, and that's why the thought is growing. I'm resisting the thought, so the thought is growing, you know. Whereas when I just leave it, like I was just sat in bed and I was just like, you know what, like I just need to leave this, like I literally just need to leave this, like leave it be. And I just stopped thinking about it, and I didn't stop thinking about it, but I just kind of like started letting the thoughts pass, and I just noticed like the feeling was passing so much better. And like I didn't feel great this morning. I was like, do you know what, instead of stressing about it, like I just need to accept that this is how I feel about myself at the moment, and like this is how I always feel about myself the week before my period, and it's not great, but it's just something I need to accept. And like I've also been stressed recently, and like stress causes bloating and inflammation and water retention and things like that. Like, it doesn't mean that I've gained weight. Like, I felt great about myself 3 weeks ago. Like, not much can change in 3 weeks, you know. But yeah, anyway, so that was just an example. Like, this is exactly the same with feelings. Like, I've noticed, like, I don't know, like when I'm angry, like I'll just let myself be angry. Like, I had a situation with a family member like last week, and I don't need to go into it, but like, yeah, and it just wasn't very positive. And like, I wasn't upset, but I was just angry at this person, and I was just like, like I was just like, honestly, like what the hell, like. And instead of just resisting that anger and being like, I shouldn't be angry, like, you know, and like trying to find ways to blame myself, I was just like, I'm literally just gonna let myself be angry about this situation. And a week later, like, I'm not even that bothered about it. Like, I haven't taken it personally, like I haven't avoided that feeling when it's come up and been like, she doesn't deserve this, like, but like for me to feel this towards it, like it's whatever, like I feel that way, like I'm allowed to feel that way, and it's fine. Like I shouldn't feel guilty for it, and I shouldn't look for a reason that it's my fault either, you know. And it's just like, again, like with, I've noticed this time as well, like again, like I'm in a different time in my life, so maybe that could be it. Like I've learned a lot more, like I have things coming up that are like quite exciting and stuff like that. And it's just like, just accepting how I feel about situations has made it so much better. Like I feel when a situation ends romantically, like personally I cling on to it because I'm like, this can't be over, like it's maybe it's a bit of an ego thing, like this person like can't not want me, like I don't understand, like what is it about me that this person doesn't want. And I noticed like when I was seeing someone last year, like I really clung on to that, like I clung on to the fact that like I wanted him to come back, and that like he must have ignored me because he felt like so strongly for me, like you know, just being like that delusional about it. And like I would just like convince myself that like even though he clearly didn't care, that he did care. And then like in the end it turns out that like he was seeing someone else anyway, and like they got together, you know. And it's just like I wasted so much of my time and my energy like resisting how I felt, and like resisting the like anxiousness and the upset and like the acceptance, even just resisting the acceptance, like resisting the negative thoughts and making them like positive, you know. Whereas like if I hadn't done that, I feel like I would have processed things a lot quicker. Whereas like this time around, I've just kind of been like, do you know what, like it is what it is, like I behaved the way I behaved, I'm not proud of it all on how I dealt with things, but it's like they also treated me how they treated me, and like that could be to do with me and it could not be to do with me. Either way, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to find out. And it's like, yes, it would be great if this like circled around again in the future, or like if it had worked out, but it didn't. And there's no point in the what ifs when I don't know what's going to happen for me, you know. And like it's just creating space for something better, or a better version of it, you know. Just like accepting that. And like when I felt sad about it, instead of being like, I shouldn't be sad about this anymore, I'm sad about it, like it's literally fine. Like when I feel sad about it, I'm just like, okay. And like it's changed from like feeling sad about it for like 2 days at a time, the whole day just like upset crying, to feeling sad about it for 10 minutes and having like a little thought spiral and just being like, just don't give energy to these thoughts. And I've realized that this time as well. Like last year, when I got ghosted, I was in these constant thought spirals, like trying to figure out what happened, like trying to figure out why he did it, and like, you know, trying to figure out like what I said, what I did, what part, like where did I completely step a foot wrong, and then just lingering in that for a good like 4 months, and like just really trying to like analyze the situation over and over, talking about it, keeping it alive, you know. And just really resisting the fact that like the situation was done, and that like he just didn't want to speak to me, or he would speak to me, you know. Whereas this time around, like yeah, at first I did resist it a little bit, and I was like, you know, I really don't want to do this, like, you know. And like I did try and backtrack a little bit, and like I was just like really gutted, and but I was just like, do you know what, like I have to accept it. And I did like have one foot in, one foot out, like because I was like, I'm really not ready to feel the hurt that's going to come with this. But I've just kind of accepted it, and like I just kind of let it flow through me, like just let the emotions that I didn't want to feel like flow through me, just let the thoughts pass by, you know. And I did spiral into thoughts at times, you know, especially the first like 2 3 weeks. I was like, have I made the right choice? Like not even just that, like is it my fault, like I did this, and like he was off ever since I did this, and just trying to be like, no, like what benefit does this do to you? Like you've learned from those situations now, that's completely fine. You know that that was how you behaved when you were feeling triggered, and you didn't know how to express your needs at that point. Whereas now, if it were to ever happen again in the future, like with someone else, I would know that, and I would be able to pick that up, and I would hopefully be able to stop that and stop reacting from a wound, and like actually be able to process that feeling in the moment, take a second for myself, process the feeling, and then ask for what I need, rather than reacting from a place of like being wounded and hurt before, you know. And it's just like, the more you resist your current circumstances, the more it's just gonna kick you in the teeth, you know. Like, I haven't had a great week, but I kind of just accepted it for what it was, and just being like, this is how I feel this week, this is how I feel, this is how I'm allowed to feel, you know. And it is just a case of like just being there, sitting with it, and just being like, do you know what, like, I'm literally with you, like, it's fine, like, we'll feel this together, we'll get through this together. Like, all these negative thoughts, like, just a bad week doesn't mean a bad life, you know. Like, I just kept saying to myself, like, I'll have my car back soon, like, it's literally fine, like, it's not the end of the world that I can't just go around and do whatever I want and like have to rely on other people to take me places, like, or catch buses and walk places. Like, it's only a week, like, it's really not that deep, but for some reason, like, it really triggered something in me. And again, like, honestly, like, up until yesterday, I've been feeling so triggered and like just so anxious, to the point where like I couldn't control it, and it was just horrible. And I just kind of had to be like, just surrender to it, like, okay, like, this is how I feel, life isn't always going to be great, like, you just have to accept that sometimes like things are going to be bad, but it's also going to get good again. Like, nothing lasts forever, and that should make you appreciate things more. But yeah, I just, you know, the more energy you give to things, whether it be negative or positive, the more they're going to grow, whatever it is, you know. So like, that's just what you really have to look at. And when you find yourself giving like energy to negative things, look where you can replace that energy, if that makes sense. Like, where else could I give this to where it's beneficial? And like, just accepting that like, you can't always solve everything, and you shouldn't always feel the need to solve everything, you know. The more you avoid a thought, it's just going to come back. I know you think if you feed into it, and by feeding into it, I don't mean adding on to it, I mean just realizing it's there. Okay, it's there, that's fine, it will just pass, and you don't add emotion to it. Whereas if you add to it or push it back, you're adding emotion to it, you know. And like, the same with feelings. Like, honestly, if you say to yourself like, okay, I'm feeling this right now, find the area in your body where that tightness or that feeling is, just notice it, name it if you can, breathe into it, and just be like, okay, I'm feeling this way, it's fine. Honestly, within 5 minutes, it's probably going to be gone. Whereas if you resist that feeling, it's going to stay there for ages, and it's going to be heavy, and you're not going to understand why. And it's going to make things a whole lot worse for you, okay? Just work with it, just work with your body, feel it out, release that energy. Your body stores things, you know. So like, if you push something back, it's going to come up again eventually, whether it be 10 years time or 10 minutes time, you know. God, take a shot for every time I've said, you know. But yeah, so like, again, like, the more you avoid a feeling, the more it's going to grow, you're just going to store it instead. And it's the same with your life circumstances. The more you don't want something, the more likely it's going to happen, because you're giving energy to the fact that you don't want that thing to happen, rather than giving energy to the things that you do want to happen, you know. And it's just like accepting life circumstances and just flowing with it, really, if that makes sense. Like, just being in the present moment, like, just realizing that you are what is noticing these thoughts. Like, these thoughts are not you, these feelings are not you, you are what notices them, and they will have a whole lot less power over you once you realize this. But yes, I mean, I don't know if you can call 20 minutes short and sweet, but for me, this is quite a short and sweet episode. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this helped, and I hope it made sense. But yeah, I love you lots, and I will see you in 2 weeks time. Bye.